Dolphins fans! You see what I did there? Frenzy's been hot. I need to cool down. Be sure you subscribe for the best Dolphins coverage on YouTube. We're getting you guys a video whenever the Dolphins make a signing. You don't want to miss anything. Hit that subscribe button below. I'm Will Scott. Welcome in to Dolphins Today. On today's show, we're taking a look at an updated top 15 Dolphins free agent targets. Miami has obviously been pretty busy in free agency, but there's still holes to fill on this football team. Here's the bad news. The Dolphins have a major cap issue right now. They basically have zero cap space. So they're going to have to figure out, if they want to bring more guys in, specifically on the offensive line, how they are going to create cap space. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald tweeted this out yesterday. And now, with the last batch of contracts processed, Dolphins down to $50,000 in cap space per over the cap. NFL Players Union says Fins have no more cap space. That's not good. So they will need extensions, more restructurings, cuts to do anything else before June 1, when Byron Jones' $13.4 million is available. So the Dolphins, of course, cut Byron Jones with a post-June 1 designation, so that money's not going to be available to them until then. Like Barry said, they can restructure some contracts, maybe extend a guy like Christian Wilkins to create some cap space here right now. Let's get into my top 15 updated free agent targets list. At number 15, we have Melvin Ingram. Now, the Dolphins re-signed AVG. They re-signed Duke Riley. I do not expect them to bring back Ingram, but I like Melvin. He was solid for the Dolphins in his first year with the team, so I decided to include him on my list. But it has been reported that it is highly unlikely that he is back in Miami this next season. Taking a look at number 14, it is a center. Connor McGovern. No, not the Connor McGovern that played for the Cowboys, just signed with the Bills. The Connor McGovern that played for the Jets last year as their starting center. He's solid. He was actually the 10th ranked center on PFF last year. But guess who was higher than him? You're not going to believe this, producer Coop. Connor Williams was ranked 4th on PFF. Maybe they didn't take snapping into account there. But either way, they could sign McGovern. And a lot of you have been hitting me up saying, Will, move Connor to left guard and sign a center, and that would fix our offensive line problem. Yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, obviously, they need a right tackle as well. But signing McGovern, who's a top 10 center, and sliding Williams over to guard, who was a top 10 guard with the Cowboys, that would certainly fix a lot of issues. But I do not expect them to sign a center, although our own Tom Downey mocked John Michael Schmitz, the Minnesota Gopher center, to the Dolphins in his latest mock draft. That's something to monitor next month. Jadeveon Clowney comes in at number 13, mainly because he's a big name, not because I think the Dolphins are going to sign him, but he's still out there and available. I don't think he's going to be back in Cleveland. That didn't end too well in Cleveland. They said they were stat padding for Myles Garrett, so he's not going to be a Brown going forward. Taking a look at what he's done the last couple of years, he was a great player in 2021. Did not put up the same numbers, though, this past season. If you wanted to add more depth to the defensive line, you could sign him to be, kind of a depth piece on the defensive line. But I do not expect him to be an option here for Miami. But he's a big name on the market, still available. That's why he comes in at number 13 on my list. Who might be a little bit more realistic is Poona Ford, the defensive tackle from the Seattle Seahawks. He's a hot commodity right now, drawing a lot of interest. He's someone else you could sign as a veteran that might make sense for the Dolphins on the defensive line. Taking a look at the current depth chart. John Jenkins is still a free agent. Are they going to bring him back? Not sure. I do not expect Trey Flowers to be back. But I feel pretty good about this defensive line right now. You still have Emmanuel Ogbah on this team. They probably need to restructure his contract. Zach Sealer's a dog. Christian Wilkins is great. Hopefully they extend him sooner rather than later. And then Raekwon Davis, someone else on this Dolphins defensive line. So we'll see. Defensive line is still a position that can use a little bit more depth, especially with Trey Flowers and John Jenkins being free agents. Speaking of depth, the Dolphins really need depth on the offensive line, and George Fant is a name that has been linked to Miami. They apparently have interest in the Jets' offensive tackle, but he's coming off a very poor year. He allowed 5 sacks in just 8 games, so he missed 9 games. So not only is the durability a concern with Fant, just the productivity as well is a concern. Had a 48.4 PFF grade. That's not good, and the Dolphins really need to go out and get a reliable right tackle. I just don't know if George Fant is the guy. Maybe he could use a fresh start. And he was good in 2021, so that's worth noting, but he was not good this past season. If the Dolphins sign George Fant, are you okay with him being the right tackle on this football team? Y for yes, in for no, down in the comment section. Go down and chime in. The Dolphins still need a tight end. Irv Smith Jr., the Minnesota tight end, at least formerly of Minnesota, is still available, and he's an Alabama guy. He played with Tua Tagovailoa at Bama. Taking a look at what these two did, I remember I'm an LSU fan. Show the other picture group. I don't want to see them scoring touchdown against LSU. They're boys, man. They played together at Alabama, close friends. Irv Smith is out there and available right now in free agency, and the Dolphins need a tight end. I don't think that he's hit his full potential yet. So I don't know. Maybe linking back up with his former quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, would help him in his career. He is a name to watch here when you're talking about tight ends available in free agency. Yeah, the Dolphins signed Eric Saubert. I still expect them to go out and get another tight end, either in the draft or free agency. They went out and they got Jalen Ramsey, and you can get a Jalen Ramsey jersey on sale right now. Chatsports.com/Ramsey. And I actually I got a text from Jalen yesterday. I'm not Josina Anderson. I meant a tweet notification from Jalen Ramsey yesterday. I don't have his number, unfortunately. But he said he's going to be number 5. So the jersey you get on your doorstep is going to be number 5, not number 0. All you're doing is pre-ordering this right now. Chatsports.com/Ramsey. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. But you have an opportunity right now to be one of the first people to get a Jalen Ramsey jersey by pre-ordering right now. It's going to be number 5, not number 0. Chatsports.com/Ramsey. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Coming in at number 9 is Taylor Lewan, who I really like. And the injury bug has hit him, unfortunately, last couple of years. But you could potentially be able to get this guy for pretty cheap. Now, here's the issue. He's played left tackle his entire career. Is he willing to play right tackle? I'm not sure. Austin Hooper's another tight end. Might be a slightly better option than Irv Smith Jr. I think Irv Smith, just based on his familiarity with Tua, might be more realistic. But Hooper is arguably the best tight end available right now in free agency. And the Dolphins only have 3 tight ends on their roster right now. They cut Ethan Carter, and they traded Hunter Long in the Jalen Ramsey deal. So they have Durham Smythe, Eric Saubert. Saubert's a good blocker, by the way. We weren't able to do a video on him when he was signed, but he's a very good blocker. Tanner Connor, as well, is on this team, is expected to have a larger role next year, but Hooper is an option, the Tennessee Titans tight end. Bobby Wagner would have been number 1 on my list not too long ago, but based on what the Dolphins have done at linebacker, I do not think it's realistic him coming from the Rams to the Dolphins. Taking a look at the numbers from this past season, 17 games played. He's been very durable throughout his career. 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, 10 tackles for loss, 140 tackles on the season for Bobby Wagner. He has been an all-pro 9 straight years. But based on what the Dolphins have done at linebacker, I do not expect them to be in the market for Bobby Wagner. In fact, I actually think he's going back to Seattle. Matt Feiler, I think, is very realistic, and here's why. Number 1, he's available after being released by the Chargers. Number 2, he has familiarity with Frank Smith. He worked with Smith when Smith was on staff in L.A., and Smith is going to have a very involved role with this Dolphins offensive line. Matt Applebaum out. Yeah, they hired Butch Berry, but Frank Smith is basically going to be the assistant offensive line coach. He is going to be working hand-in-hand with Butch Berry on this offensive line, trying to improve this offensive line. Feiler's a decent option, and he has a lot of experience playing right tackle as well. Foster Moreau, I really like. Probably my favorite tight end left in free agency. Now, when you look at his numbers, the numbers are not mind-blowing, but he was also Darren Waller's backup. Whenever Darren Waller was injured, Foster Moreau was really, really good in Las Vegas. Maybe they'll make a run to bring him back after trading Waller, but Moreau has met with the Saints. He's met with the Bengals. He has not been seriously linked to the Dolphins. I'm hoping Miami gives him a call because the Saints and the Bengals have shown a lot of interest in him. He played LSU, so you have the LSU connection on the Bengals. A lot of Bengals players, a lot of Bengals players are LSU guys, and then he's from Louisiana, so I'm sure that had a reason. I'm sure that was part of him meeting with the Saints, I should say. Dalton Risner, probably the best guard available still in free agency. Played with the Denver Broncos. Really solid option. Will be a huge upgrade over Liam Eichenberg at left guard. Isaiah Wynn, as we get into my top three, the Patriots offensive tackle. I really like Isaiah Wynn. Now, here's the issue, and we'll break down the numbers here in a second. Yeah, he's one of the best offensive tackles still available, but the injury concerns are there with Isaiah Wynn. He was a left tackle for his first 3 seasons, spent more time at right tackle in 2022, 2018 first-round pick out of Georgia. But the durability is a concern. 23 games missed in his career, including 9 games last season. And the numbers from that past season were not great. As I take a look, he missed 8 games, foot injury. I think the Dolphins can do a little bit better here at right tackle, but he's one of the better names on the market right now. Do you want to sign Isaiah Wynn? Type S for sign or type P for pass down in the comment section. Let me know what you think down in the comments. S for sign or P for pass. I know I said earlier that it's not realistic for the Dolphins to sign a center, and I still think that's true, but I'm really intrigued by Ben Jones, and here's why. It's pretty rare when you have a center of his caliber with his experience available. He has over 150 career starts, has been in the NFL since 2012, has been a top-tier center in the league for the past several seasons. Tennessee let him go. I think Miami should at least inquire about Ben Jones. If you sign Jones, you're going to have one of the best centers in the league, snapping the football to Tua Tagovailoa, and then Connor Williams will be back at his natural position of left guard. And credit to Williams, he's played well at center, but I think he could be an even better left guard for the Dolphins, and left guard is a huge hole right now on that offensive line. So is right tackle, and that's why I think they need to go out and get Cameron Fleming with the Broncos. He has been consistent throughout his career, a 72.6 overall grade last year, 67.8 run block grade, and the pass blocking grade was even better. I think that's important, right? You want to go out and get guys that are good pass blockers because Tua Tagovailoa needs to stay upright this season for Miami. Go down in the comments section. Let me know, who do you want to sign in free agency? Is it Fleming? Is it Jones? Is it Wynn? Go down in the comments section and let me know. And if the Dolphins do sign somebody, we are going to get you guys a video. So hit the subscribe button below.